Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and I'm here to do the Reading Rush Stay at Home tag. So I didn't actually participate in the Reading Rush that happened just the weekend just gone, because I had loads of other books that I was reading for the Elves Readathon, and even though I normally do participate in the Reading Rush, this one just didn't happen for me. But I do still really like this tag, so I've decided to do it anyway. First question is, how is your reading going while staying home? And my reading is grand. I definitely am missing like my commute time reading, because I normally will always read on the train going to and from work and at lunchtime and things like that. So I'm definitely missing that kind of reading that I would do normally like during the week, and that's normally as well like walking from the train to my office is when I normally listen to like a podcast or my audiobook, and I haven't really been doing that. And then when I'm having my lunch now, because I'm working from home and I'm having my lunch, I'm generally kind of like going out for a walk, and because I'm kind of trying to because I've been obviously so focused, and it kind of seems you're kind of focusing I think harder when you're working from home as well. I'm not really listening to audiobooks or podcasts when I'm out and about walking, because those are the type of moments where I'm just kind of really enjoying the quiet and the peace, and I don't want anything kind of like blasting in my ears a little bit, not even music or anything like that. So I'm definitely missing a little bit of those moments, because I'm savouring those kind of the peaceful moments at this moment and not substituting them for podcasts or audiobooks. Other than that, my reading is pretty much on track. I'm still kind of a good bit ahead of my reading goal on Goodreads, and I'm still reading loads of good books. It's kind of been up and down a little bit in terms of how much reading I've been getting done, but overall I'm happy with my reading. Where have you been reading at home? I've mostly been reading in my room, which is just normal. I read in my bed. I kind of have loads of cushions and stuff, and I create a nice little reading spot for myself. I've also been reading either in the garden or in the conservatory. The conservatory kind of goes really warm during the day, which is nice to be able to read at lunch. If I do read during my lunch break, I can read in there, and then if it's nice out in the garden, I read in my favourite chair in the garden, which is like this kind of egg shaped chair with like a cushion, and you can just kind of curl up into it and read, and it's really nice and kind of rocks as well. It's like hanging on a pole, so it rocks kind of back and forth, and it's very soothing and it's very nice. So I've been enjoying that too. Your question is the best book I've read during isolation, and this is definitely either The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne, which is amazing. It's one of my favourite books of the year so far. Just really enjoyed it, and the writing is just superb in it. And then I've also really enjoyed Queen of Air and Darkness by Sandra Clare, which I talked about 2 wrap-ups ago, and I just really immersed myself in the Shadowhunter world with this book. I gave myself a week to read the book. I read it slowly. I just savoured every moment of it, and I just really enjoyed that reading experience. It was so lovely, and it was just such a lovely distraction, and I just love the Shadowhunter world and the magic and everything that's going on in that world. I love, so I really enjoyed that book and that reading experience. The next question is, what's your favourite feel-good book? I have a really hard time picking these, because like all my old favourites are my feel-good books. For me, one of my feel-good books is definitely probably Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I just love, this is one of my favourite classics of all time, and it's one of my favourites. Here is my really old copy of Sense and Sensibility. I picked this copy up in I think an antique store in Edinburgh when I was there a few years ago. It was just this store that sold kind of like antiques and secondhand stuff, and they had a few like really old books. So I don't know when this was published. I'm sure it says somewhere on it. I think 1951 this one was. I think this one's 1951 because it says 1951 there, so maybe this one was published in 1951, but I got it for £7, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I haven't actually read the book in this version yet, because I have like an old kind of a movie version of the book that I used to read, but I should try and read it, because this one has some really nice illustrations in it as well, which is lovely. The next question is a book I wish I could buy or borrow from the library at the moment. Luckily my library has a really good online system at the moment on my phone, like on the app, on the BarrowBox app, and they've gotten more funding from the government at this time. They've been able to like put on loads more titles, and people are able to have to wait as long for the titles. They're able to probably keep them as long as well, and yeah, so I'm really lucky that I can still kind of use my library through the online system. But a book I wish I could buy right now is probably maybe Chain of Gold by Sandra Clare, which is like the next Shadowhunter series, because after finishing Queen of Air and Darkness, I'm like just kind of obsessed with the Shadowhunter world again. But I'm kind of making myself leave it for a while, because I don't want to immerse myself in it too much, so I'm leaving it off for myself. Either Chain of Gold, or I think the Red Scrolls of Magic, which is the Alex and Magnus book. So either one of them is probably what I would like to buy next, but I'm telling myself to hold off for a while. Next question then is an author that you want to shout out during this time, and for me honestly it's all of them. All of the authors who have given us all these amazing books to occupy us during this time and occupy us through any terrible time in our life. Good times and bad times, books are always there for you. And yeah, they are just true friends, and the authors who create them are just honestly magical. And yeah, so I want to shout out all the authors. And the last question for this one is, what is your Reading Rush TBR? But as I said, I didn't really participate in the Reading Rush this year, unfortunately, but the next proper one I definitely will. There's just so many readathons going on all the time now that I never know which ones I want to do and which ones I don't want to do. I think the next one after the Owls will probably be the Disney readathon that I want to do, which is being hosted by Little Book Dragon. So that's definitely the next readathon I'll be doing after the Owls. But yeah, I just couldn't fit in a Reading Rush TBR with everything else. But at least I was able to do this tag. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave me like what you would answer down below, what your feel good book is at the moment. I would love to know, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.